Hey there, Melaminah here. Welcome back to My Bikini Competition Journey. This is episode number 30. Another new bikini reveal and progress update number 10. So thanks for tuning in. All right, so I've got a lot to talk about this time. So I made myself some notes so that I can keep this as organized and moving along as possible. So the first thing I wanted to talk about was that these last 2 weeks were actually pretty good, pretty eventful in positive ways. So let's start by talking about the nutrition and an update on what's going on with my GI. So if you'll recall, I've been dealing with a lot of bloating and I've been investigating a lot of different possible GI issues that it can be. So let me just give you a quick update on that. So I did have a food allergy test. I did this a little while ago and everything came back negative. So I did share that with my coach. And so we're starting to slowly reincorporate a lot of the things that we had eliminated previously, which was basically everything. We did decide that we were going to continue to eliminate dairy and gluten because those are inherently inflammatory anyways. So we're just going to be preemptive and keep those completely out of the nutrition. Some of the substitutes that we are keeping as well, we're keeping the collagen protein in lieu of the pea-based protein that I was using, and the pea-based protein had replaced the whey protein. So no whey, no pea, and we are keeping the collagen protein. I like this better anyways. I like the taste of it better. It is a little bit more expensive, but it's worth it. So I am happy with that. And then the second thing that we're keeping is coconut milk in lieu of almond milk, which has always replaced just regular animal milk. So yeah, again, very similarly to the collagen protein, I like the coconut milk better. It doesn't taste like coconut to me at all. And it has 1 more gram of fat than the almond milk. So it's a little bit thicker, it's a little bit creamier. So I like the consistency better. I like the texture better. I like the flavor of it better. So I'm totally happy to keep the coconut milk instead of the almond. One of my doctors actually recommended removing the creatine because that can cause GI issues. So creatine actually helps move more water into the muscles. So it helps to increase lean muscle mass, and it helps to, it promotes muscle recovery as well. So it's been heavily studied, and it's one of the safest supplements on the market. But some people still do end up experiencing some GI issues in the form of bloating and other digestive issues. So it is rare from what I understand, but yay me, I typically do fall into the rare category of, it rarely happens to anybody, but it's happening to you. So whatevs. So my doctor recommended a 2-week break from the creatine, and then the normal dose is 5 grams per day. So he said after the 2 weeks, try 3 grams per day. So I think I have about another week of no creatine before reintroducing that. And when I do reintroduce it, my coach recommended that I do 1.5 grams in the morning and 1.5 grams in the afternoon. So I will be doing that. Okay, so that was the nutrition and GI update. I am still continuing to investigate the GI issue, and I'll continue to give updates on that as they become available. So now on the fatigue front. So this is the other major issue that I've been dealing with. I am over 40 now, so that is a contributing factor as well. And then, of course, all of the grief that I've been dealing with and processing, in addition to all of the stress of tending to my parents' both of my parents' estates. There's been some work stress going on lately. I got married a couple months ago. Actually, tomorrow, as I'm recording this, tomorrow will be our 3-month anniversary of being married. Yay. But even good stress is stress. And so there is a lot that I've been dealing with and processing. And so the more I've been thinking about this and investigating this, the more I'm leaning towards like the simple answer is often the correct answer. And it's just that there's so much going on in my life that it's just exhausting. There's a lot to process. There's a lot going on in the background all the time, and it's a lot. That said, I am still looking to try to optimize as much as I possibly can. So making sure that I'm getting enough sleep every night, good quality sleep. I'm doing things to kind of dial that in, and maybe I'll make a dedicated video to that in the future. But as of right now, other like definitive things that we've done to combat the fatigue include increasing my daily calories. So up until this point, I've been on 1,700 calories daily. And I started to notice that after cheat meal days, especially when they were really carb heavy cheat meals and like towards the end of the day, I was feeling really energized the next day. So we've decided to increase my calories, my calorie intake to 1,950. So now I'm doing 1,950 calories per day. So the first couple of days that she had me on 1,950, I actually did not do it. I was still at 1,700 because I was kind of sick and I wasn't going to the gym. So I decided to keep the caloric intake low so that I could maintain that deficit since I wasn't going to the gym. So once I started to feel better though, I did increase to the 1,950, and I have been feeling more energized more often. So that is positive. The first day back after being sick, first day back in the gym, I was, oh my gosh, totally wiped, and I was super fatigued. So I decided to, even though I was feeling better and I really felt like I needed to get back in the gym, I didn't go full out. So I did reduce the weights by about 25%. So I only did a 75% lift of my max. And that worked pretty well. I was able to get through the entire workout with enough energy to like make it through the whole thing. So that was definitely a win. So a couple of other things that I noticed these previous 2 weeks were a lot of like minor aches and pains and pulls starting to kind of pop up. So I think part of that could potentially be the stopping the intake of creatine, because that does promote, muscle recovery and water into the muscles. But also I think it could just be that I haven't been taking my yoga classes like I normally do. So I've been practicing yoga since 2001, and minimum of 1 day per week. Usually I was up to like 3 days a week. It's fluctuated over the last 20 years, but usually minimum 1 day a week. And I haven't even been doing that since August. There's been a change in the schedule at my gym. And so the class that I was taking, there were a couple classes that I was taking and they got eliminated. So I was taking them virtually and they eliminated all of the morning virtual classes. So now I've looked at the gym schedule again, and I'm trying to like situate my other, my schedule around the gym schedule so that I can get into a yoga class. So now I will be trying to get to the class on Tuesday mornings and or Saturday mornings. So that should definitely help with a lot of stress reduction, and it will help to prep my body again. My body is used to long, flexible, lean muscle, and the lack of, it doesn't drop off that quickly, especially since I have a long practice of mobility and flexibility training. But I mean, it is starting to probably drop off, and my muscles aren't really used to that. So it's kind of lending itself towards these little like pulls and tweaks and stuff like that. So I did notice that on a couple of lift days, my right quadricep was kind of talking to me. And on another day, I was having some pain in my left, like a sharp-ish pain in my left glute. So typically sharp pain is your body's way of saying stop. Stop what you're doing. But I was very mindful of what I was doing, and I paid very close attention and really dialed in my form to make sure that my form was perfect. And I was able to successfully complete my lifts on those days. And happily, after the rest, the day after, because I alternate upper body and lower body, it went away. So yay, but definitely something to pay attention to. And then over the course of the last couple of weeks, I did do some fun things. It is challenging to be social and incorporate fun stuff, but at the same time, I have to continue to live my life and, just kind of adapt to this style of living at the moment, and still do cool things. So a lot of times what I'll do is eat all of my calories before going out, especially if we're going out later in the evening. I try to eat everything ahead of time so that I don't feel hungry when I'm out. I'm not tempted to eat things or snack on things or anything like that. I am allowed, usually I'm allowed like one drink per week. So I have to be strategic in where I'm gonna use that. And then I'm still allowed one cheat meal per week. And again, there's some strategy that goes into when I'm gonna use that too. So a lot of times when we go to shows, I will have water. And I love Liquid Death. It's really awesome. It's like a mineral, not mineral water, but like a really high quality water that comes in a can at the shows. And it's nice because it is in a can, and so it kind of feels like you're drinking an adult beverage, even though it's just really yummy water. But over the last couple of weeks, we did go to the good Oktoberfest. We went to the bad Oktoberfest the last time, and we're pointed in the right direction this time. So we went to the La Mesa Oktoberfest, which was super fun. We also went to see Nothing More and In This Moment at the observatory here in San Diego, and they were amazing. That was like kind of near the end of that tour, which was super cool. And then for my birthday, one of my gifts was a VIP acoustic show to see my favorite band, Starset. And so finally that show happened, and there was a Q&A, and it was VIP, so it was very small and intimate. There were like maybe 50 people there. So they did an acoustic show, and they did a Q&A kind of along with that. And then afterwards they did a meet and greet, and I totally geeked out, and I got to meet all the members of the band and chat with them. And it was delightful. I don't really get super like starstruck when I meet famous people, because I just remind myself like they're just people too. But I did really, really enjoy my conversations with them. We just kind of talked about normal stuff, and sure, we talked about their music and all that too, but we kind of just had normal conversations also, and it was really fun. And they did their job really well, because now I feel like we're besties with them, which I'm sure like everybody feels like they're besties with them. So good job to them for making everyone just feel so welcome and heard and seen and normal and like all that stuff. So super, super rad. I had the best time, and I keep thinking about it and talking about it, and it's gonna be like one of those life experiences that I'm gonna remember and cherish for my entire life. So thank you to my hubby for getting me that for my birthday. It was one of the most amazing gifts. Okay, so one additional challenge that came up during this bi-weekly was that I did have to fly out to El Paso. It was the fastest trip I have ever done. It was insane. So I was selling my dad's car and finally got to finalize all of that. So I had to sign the documents with the purchaser and just get everything finalized. So I flew from San Diego to El Paso. I did all of my business with the buyer, and then I had some furniture and some other things that I wanted to bring back to San Diego. So my bestie in El Paso helped me load up a rental with everything. I slept that night. I hopped in the car super early in the morning and drove back to San Diego. So I was literally in El Paso like maybe 12 hours, and half of that I was asleep. So it was like ridiculously fast, which actually turned out to be really supportive from a nutrition standpoint, and from a fatigue standpoint. I was so exhausted and just like did not want to deal, but I didn't have a choice. Like that was the only weekend that I could take care of this business. So yeah, like, and that it was like right around the time that I wasn't really feeling great too. So I had that added component, but from a nutrition standpoint, it was actually really supportive because I am comfortable working off of macros. And so even though I was driving like 12 hours across 4 states, Texas, New Mexico, Arizona, California, 4 states, I felt very comfortable, like, sure, it wasn't the best quality stuff, but I was able to like go into 7-Eleven, whatever convenience stores, and get something relatively healthy, just based on macros. So that was actually really good. And yeah, so that was a successful trip. So as far as my coach's feedback, I did hear back from her already, so that's cool. I got some new lifts, which is fun. I'm actually doing a full back squat now, which is awesome. I've been building up to this for quite some time. I've done box squats where you have the barbell and you're like pretending like you're doing a squat, but you actually sit on a box and then you stand back up to kind of give you some support, but simulate a squat and kind of get the muscles like ready for it. And then I've done kneeling squats as well. And now I'm doing full on like real big girl squats, which is fun. Yay. And my kitties are having a little love fest in the back here. Whatevs. So that's really cool. And I think that eventually I'm gonna like take a little bit of video again and like highlight a couple more lifts that I'm doing, because I'm feeling pretty confident that I'm doing them properly. So I will record some of those and share them with y'all too. So this was like some of the specifics that she said. She said she's loving the shape that's starting to come through. And she said that there have been a lot of changes happening overall, which is exciting, and very visible improvements through the hamstrings and the deltoids, which is also super fun. She also commented that I'm leaning out in the waist as well, which is like my favorite part. Yay. I mean, yes, I love like having a bigger, juicier booty, but I also like in my mind, I just sort of correlate having abs with being fit and healthy. So I know it's like totally a thing that I should let go of, because it's an expectation that doesn't always serve me, because especially with the bloating issue, when I see that I'm bloated and I've been working so hard, it in my mind just like negates any kind of like fitness that I've gained. So that's like a mental challenge that I'm working with. But anywho, there's that. But overall, she said that this was a really great check-in. So yay. All right, so I am a big boxing fan, so I am going to borrow their little catchphrase, which is the tail of the tape. And you can see here that this is my starting weight from December 17, 2021. I weighed in at 142.2. And now at my most recent check-in on October 26th, I weighed in at 133.4. And overall, between my previous check-in on the 7th, October 7th, and October 26th, I have gone up about half a pound. Body fat is basically the same. and I have increased almost 1 full inch, but most of that is on the hips, a little bit on the waist, and I think the gain in weight is probably due to the increase in calories. So at some point we will need to go back into a deficit so I can start shedding some of and more of the fat. But right now, I mean, it's also okay because more calories means bigger muscles, so cool. And like I said, I think the increase in the hips is probably an increase in the glutes. So awesome, that means I'm getting a bigger booty, which I will take. All right, so overall, I'm still holding mostly steady, and here are my side-by-side photos. So we've got a front, a side, and a back, and we can drag those out a little bit, but this is the reveal of bikini number 3 from my birthday presents. I got a bunch of bikinis, bunch of brand new bikinis for my birthday. Super exciting. So I've been rolling them out during my progress photos, and this is the 3rd one. So I think that's it, y'all. Thank you so much for tuning in. If you liked this video, please give it a thumbs up. Feel free to share it. And as always, questions, comments, concerns, interpretive dances, you can leave them in the comments section below, or you can DM me directly. The best way to do that is on Instagram at Melaminah. Yeah, and then of course, don't forget to hit that subscribe button. That way you get notifications when I roll out new videos. I usually post a new one for Fitness Friday every Friday. And yeah, again, thank you so much for watching, and I'll see you next time. Bye-bye.